Ali Khamenei's eldest son, Mostafa, has stepped into the public eye at his father's funeral, but the conspicuous absence of his brother Mojtaba is now overshadowing the mourning. With every new ceremony, the mystery deepens over why Mojtaba is missing from his own father's funeral rites. Mostafa has been seen at the Imam Hussein Shrine in Karbala, walking beside the coffin and greeting clerics, but the unanswered question hangs over the images: where's his brother Mojtaba? Karbala received the remains of Ali Khamenei for final farewell ceremonies on July 8, marking a key stop in his posthumous journey through the Shia world's holiest cities. The late Iranian Supreme Leader's eldest son, Mostafa, was also seen at the shrine in Karbala, visibly participating in the rituals around his father's coffin. Mostafa attended Ali Khamenei's funeral, even as questions mounted over the absence of his brother Mojtaba, who many expected to be a central figure at such ceremonies. Notably, Mojtaba has not attended any event of the multi-day funeral for his late father, fueling speculation and debate about his role and current circumstances. The Iraqi holy city held what was described as an exceptional funeral, with widespread public grief on display as crowds gathered to honor Khamenei. The remains were taken to the shrines of Imam Hussein and Abolfazl al-Abbas for blessings, underscoring the religious symbolism of passing by these revered sites. Prominent religious scholars and thousands of mourners attended the farewell ceremonies, highlighting the political and spiritual significance of Khamenei's legacy in Iraq. Meanwhile, official and public funeral rites took place in Najaf in the early hours of July 8, adding another layer of solemn observance in a second major holy city. Large crowds lined the routes leading to the shrine of Imam Ali to pay their respects, turning the streets of Najaf into dense corridors of mourners. The remains had arrived at Najaf International Airport on the evening of July 7, before being transferred under tight security to the city's sacred precincts for the overnight rites. After the Iraq ceremonies, Ali Khamenei's remains will be flown back to Iran for the final stage of the funeral. He is scheduled to be buried on July 9 at the Imam Reza Shrine in Mashhad, his birthplace. Fresh panic grips Trump's Arab allies as Iran responds to U.S. strikes with a new wave of military escalation. Air raid sirens sound across Bahrain as air defenses activate in Kuwait amid fresh regional security alerts. At least 4 explosions are reported as heightened security measures are enforced across Bahrain. Bahrain urges residents to remain calm and immediately move to the nearest designated safe shelter. Bahrain Ministry of Interior said, and I quote, "The siren has been sounded. Citizens and residents are urged to remain calm and head to the nearest safe place." Unquote. Kuwait also reports fresh missile and drone threats as regional tensions continue to escalate on July 8. Kuwait Army said, and I quote, "Kuwaiti air defenses are currently confronting hostile missile and drone attacks." The General Staff of the Army notes that if explosion sounds are heard, they are the result of air defense systems intercepting the hostile attacks. Everyone is requested to adhere to the security and safety instructions issued by the competent authorities. Unquote. Iran accuses the United States of violating the Memorandum of Understanding on multiple fronts through military action. Ghalibaf says Washington breached the agreement by carrying out fresh strikes and imposing additional sanctions. Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf said, and I quote, "Major MOU violations by the U.S. violating Iranian adjustments in the Strait, persistent threats of further strikes, reinstating oil sanctions, attacks on southern Iran, continued Zionist aggression on Iran. The era of bullying and extortion is over. It leads nowhere. We don't fold." Unquote. The US has hit Iran after attacks on vessels in Hormuz triggered a dangerous new escalation. Strikes have rocked Bandar Abbas and Qeshm as Washington launches a retaliatory response, according to reports. The US military is said to have targeted Iranian air defenses along with missile and drone sites. The Hormuz flashpoint is deepening as Washington strikes Iranian targets near the vital waterway. Explosions were heard across southern Iran after the US military launched its strikes. Pezeshkian is heading back to Iran from Iraq as the US strikes send shockwaves across the region. U.S. Central Command says the strikes were carried out in response to attacks on 3 commercial vessels. U.S. Central Command said, and I quote, U.S. Central Command forces have begun launching a series of powerful strikes against Iran to impose heavy costs for targeting and attacking commercial shipping crewed by innocent civilians in an international waterway. The U.S. strikes are in response to Iranian attacks on 3 commercial vessels that were transiting the Strait of Hormuz. Iran's demonstrated aggression was unwarranted, dangerous, and a clear violation of the ceasefire. Unquote. A tanker was struck by an unidentified projectile while transiting the Strait of Hormuz, according to UKMTO, raising immediate alarm in the narrow and strategically vital waterway. UKMTO said on July 7 that the vessel suffered structural damage in the incident, but there were no casualties reported. No pollution or environmental impact has been reported following the incident, suggesting that the tanker's cargo and fuel tanks remained intact and that there has been no oil spill into the surrounding sea. UKMTO has launched an investigation to determine the cause of the strike, focusing on what kind of projectile was involved, where it may have originated, and whether it forms part of a broader pattern of hostile activity. Ships transiting the strait have been urged to exercise caution and report any suspicious activity, with maritime authorities calling on captains to maintain high situational awareness. This was the 3rd such incident reported near the critical oil choke point on July 7, underscoring a worrying cluster of events in a single day.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.